Happy Tuesday, y'all. It's your boy, Coach Rue, making it happen today at the Learn Local Challenge. Thank you for joining us. Let's get it on. All right. Hey, everyone. It's the week 6 of the Learning Local Challenge. So just imagine if you're new, what you would have experienced today, or at least the first 5 weeks of this challenge, you would have experienced really a step-by-step process in how to actually start investing in real estate. And when I say investing in real estate, not necessarily investing in real estate in the traditional sense. We're talking about investing in real estate by learning so much more about the community than we can ever learn, right? Because at the end of the day, hold up 1 second, getting used to this new studio. We're creating the interaction that currently doesn't happen in real estate as far as information sharing it. But we're in week 6. It's our last beta show. It's going to be amazing, and we currently have people who will be on the show to talk about week 6. He's running late into the studio, but once he comes in, we'll bring him in. It's Chris Astillero with with Exchange Resources Inc. What they do is really what we're going to talk mostly about, or at the very least, it'll be a very big part of the conversation. Now that you've found a deal, which is essentially excuse me, let me just back up and kind of revert. Now that let's just bring up the Learn Local Challenge. We can talk about it specifically. The Learn Local Challenge is that 6-week program, and as I mentioned, this is our week 6 beta week, and what that means is that we're the next time we launch this or make this available, which is going to be March 17th. We are going to be going through this week 1 to week 6 process. This is, again, week 6 beta. Super excited to get this going. It's going to be amazing. So week 6, let me just go through the weeks really quick. Week 1, how do you choose a real estate investing strategy? There's so many different things that you could do in this business to make money via real estate services, or real estate investing. I mean, how do you choose? That's literally what week 1's about. Week 2, now that you actually know which train you're getting on, or what direction, or even what race you're going to be, what game you're going to play, so to speak, in the real estate investing business. Week 2 is about week 2 is about getting financially prepared. Who are the people that need to be, maybe a beginner real estate investor, or maybe even someone buying their 100th property. But, as most people know, things change, times change. The world changes. So that's week 2, but you have to be prepared financially, for that investment strategy. Week 3, well, now that you're prepared financially, obviously you want to get a great deal, not just a good deal, of course. Week 3 is all about, hey, how do I get a great deal? How do I find real estate? Obviously, it's about value, buy low, sell high. We all know that. But it's not even just that anymore. It's maybe buy low, sell high, and just not having, don't have to do that much, really. Maybe it's a passive investment. Maybe there's just so many different ways, but there's just a lot of just different discussion about what constitutes a good deal. Week 4, of course, anyone who's been investing in real estate knows that value add projects really mean a rehab project, or some sort of something you're doing to a property to make it more valuable. So week 4 is really all about going into the construction process, and quite frankly, when I was investing myself, in the great financial crisis, the GFC 2008, specifically 2007 to 2000, maybe 11, really construction, finding the right contractor was literally the hardest thing for me to do. I just had no idea who to trust, unfortunately trusted a lot of people we shouldn't have trusted, but you make mistakes. And we all know, in real estate, you either earn or you learn. Sometimes you do both, sometimes one or the other. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. But and then week 5 is how to protect your investment. It's all about talking to people in an insurance business, which I owned a brokerage myself for 5 years. I don't own that brokerage anymore, but it's a really great experience. Protecting your investment and closing the deal also touches into escrow, title, all the things that are necessary to get a deal closed smoothly and most efficiently, without any headaches, without any stress, without any drama. And certainly no one likes that. And week 6, that's where we're at today. So week 6 is all about, now that you've done most of the work, well, I mean, in this case, really all of the work, meaning you went into action, did something, figured out what kind of real estate and how you wanted to make money. You made some money, and assuming maybe you made money by buying a property. Now week 6 is about, well, hey, how do you do more? How do you get more? How do you build wins? How do you stack on this? And our special guest today is we're gonna have a lot of questions for him. Very astute investor, has been doing it himself. He was there's a lot of things we can talk about, but I'll tell him, what, in fact, why don't we do this? Before I get into talking about who might be on the show, let's talk about a little bit more about what Lifeline is, and we can go from there. So Lifeline, man, connect, collaborate, create live community networking. Live community networking is what you're going to be seeing more so on Friday, because today's a beta show for week 6. But Friday, what happens on Freedom Friday, Learn San Diego Live, which airs 11:30 a.m. And runs all the way to 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, is essentially it's a system, it's a structure where you have real estate professionals who want to create their brand. We allow them to join this academy. We call it the LEARNin Local Academy. Because at the end of the day, we are all learning. We are all learning, and it's really designed exclusively for real estate professionals that want to become what we call subject market educators. And what I mean by that is that I've been filming and creating video for the past almost 20 years, since 2007, consistently. And the thing that I've seen for a long time, and really to this day doesn't, I really can't understand exactly why it happens so much, is that you run into a lot of people who've been in real estate for such a long time. And right now, at that point, I mean, I can tell you, I know people who've been in the real estate business for over 50 years, right? Obviously, people who have been in the business for 40 years, 45 years, 30 years, 35 years, and all the way down. But what's interesting about experience is that sometimes we don't learn from our experience, and sometimes we don't evolve. And what I mean by that is a lot of people who are in the business of real estate currently, for whatever reason, they are not willing to raise their hand and say, hey, listen, I will be the one to teach you about 1031 exchanges. I will be the one to tell you exactly, what it means to get a deal, like a real deal, instead of like a TikTok deal. You know what I mean? Because right now, I mean, obviously, this is the thing, right? We are living in the age of the avatar. And if anyone does not understand that, what that means is that, it'll be so easy for anyone to create a digital representation of themselves in such a way that it becomes so real. And in an instance, because I do it all the time, instance, you can kind of, whatever you can think of, you can imagine, you're basically creating on, I mean, for the most part right now, for photos, reliably, for videos very soon. So what I'm saying is that what many in the business of real estate, and in this case, even more holistically encompassing local business owners, because whether they know it or not, local business owners are in the thick of this whole like real estate ecosystem that we all call our community. You know what I mean? So for what it is, there's just so many different things, so many different reasons why Learn Local Academy exists. But I think the one singular reason why it's so important for me to create this is because let's see if I have it at striking distance. Hold up 1 second. So anyway, I don't. But what I was going to bring up, and maybe, you know what? We have the internet. Hold on a second. Let me see. Since we were waiting for Chris Asoliero and I'm live, I could literally look this up. Okay. Hold on. So this is what's cool. Since I'm live and I have no clue, I have no problem at all sharing my screen. And by the way, this stuff right here, it's not essentially confidential, and just to, oh, hold on, let me just check 1 second. Right. Yeah. So to protect the innocent, I basically don't put names up there. Okay. And what I'm being told by Easy is that you can't even read it. But the point being is that it's not necessarily confidential information. It's just me saying that, like, hey, I'm working on stuff all the time. Like, and this is kind of like where I escape in my studio to, like, you know what? As a matter of fact, because I've always wanted to do this since we are waiting and 3 people are watching, very, I'm sure very curiously to see what I might be doing next, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm working on. How about that? Right? And this is like live in charge, right? So let me see if I can get the best. Let me see if I can get the best angle here real quick. And like I said, this is live. So check this out. I'm sure you can see this. Hold on, let me just check really quick. I'm in ChatGPT now. I'm just doing a zoom into this. But if you guys have any questions or like what you're seeing, look at that real quick. So what we'll soon be doing is creating. Right. Yes, that's right. We do have it in the slide. Except this was the one I was telling Emerson. This is the one I didn't want to show because it looks like it has a zombie in front of the van trying to invade the van. So that's not the one I wanted to show. Let's see. Hold up. Yes, this is the one I wanted to show. So we're showing here is that eventually, with our clients, we're going to be creating, these essentially, very realistic experiences that, that really kind of take the experience of what my very, hold on a second. Yep, coming. All right. The man has arrived. He's entered the building. I'm gonna let him into the spot. Okay, he's coming up, and I'll get him set up. But what I'm saying is, so what we're gonna be doing is, for real estate professionals, that we're gonna be utilizing the power of AI, right? And when I say, hold on, let me also test this. Let me test this fourth wall concept, right? So if you guys don't understand what the fourth wall is, essentially what it means is that you have control of what I say next. So if you want that control, you can comment and be like, hey, I have a question about 1031 exchanges. What do this is the question, and then let me answer it for you. So if you're brave enough to ask the question, we will be brave enough to answer. That's kind of what it means. So what we're going to be doing for all these real estate professionals who are on the platform is creating a similar platform that helps them essentially be live in there. Okay. So, right. Hold on one second. Hey, why don't you set up on the table? The light's gonna be bad right there. Here, hold on. Let me give you my laptop. All right. Okay. So you think this doesn't happen like in real time? I'll tell you right now. So Chris is visiting me here in my home studio. I have an extra laptop. I mean, who does that kind of stuff? I don't know. But I just happen to have an extra laptop. And what we do, this is what we do. If you want to know what we do, this is what we do. I'm gonna literally log into our studio. I'm gonna put it, in front of Chris. He's gonna be talking to us in the next 30 seconds. Hey, bro. Put your name here. I would just suggest that you sit here and the lights go. Oh, crap. Like this.
I'm not blocking. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep. All right.
Another message from Oliver Austria.
All right. Oh man. Okay, so he's on my computer. We'll get him fixed. Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Want to shut your door?
It is shut.
Okay, we're not on live yet, are we? Are we live already? Oh my gosh. All right, great, fantastic.
We'll be waiting for you. Hey, you know what? This is San Diego. There are a lot of people that are traveling to and from the beach. I get it. Traffic is terrible. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so hey, man, I actually gotta clean up around. I gotta clean up around the house here. Okay. So Chris, hey, we had just started. I just introduced everyone to to what we were doing today.
Should I turn off this light first? Up on the ceiling? Or is that?
We can do that. You want me to do that? Hold on.
Yeah. Hold
on.
All right. No, that ceiling.
How's that? What's that?
The other one, the one in the hallway. That's good. And then the one in the hallway you want to turn off.
Good.
That one right there.
This one?
There. That's good. All right. Better.
Okay. You there?
I'm here.
Oh man. I gotta remove my shrimp chips off the counter, man. That's crazy. Oh, we're still live. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how you doing? Glad I'm here. Glad I made it. Had some technical issues.
That's all right. That's okay. Hey, well, listen, the show must go on, and it was going on. We were just doing a lot of things. I was telling them this is week 6 of beta, right?
Awesome.
So we are, but regardless of what might have happened circumstantially with traffic, Chris, really appreciate that you're here. Thank you so much. Again, we're creating this beta, this program to train real estate people who want to learn real estate. And, I kind of just walked them through the beginning. Where we're at right now is that we're in week 6. We just, essentially walked them through all the weeks, which started from choosing a real estate strategy to closing their first deal. Now they've closed their first deal. We woke up on the next day that they closed their deal, and now they're thinking like, how do I turn this one property into a portfolio? So we, no better than to bring Chris Escaliero, 1031 Exchange Resources. Thank you for being here, man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Anything that I can do to shed some light on just ideas on how to create more wealth for many of these investors who are a little confused or a little lost or really don't know, the 1031 exchange is going to be the most powerful way that they can create their wealth.
Understood. Okay, well, we have some pointers here because you're obviously part of the platform. You helped us create this this slide deck, right? So graciously appreciate you.
Yep.
Oh, we were just showing some projects we were working on really quick. So Chris, week 6, how to build a real estate empire via 1031 exchange. I mean, there's just so many things I know there's just so much what we can talk about. What I wanted to do here, the format that we kind of wanted to utilize is that we know that this is a live Q&A. So if you've never been part of the Learn Local Challenge, you can ask any questions that you want about 1031. But we do get emails, we do get calls, we do get texts, people who ask us questions, and we actually.
That's your phone.
You know what I mean? And hold on. And just wanted to go through that the general points with you, because we're going to be talking mainly about 1031 exchange. We'll go through the general points and we'll let people ask questions, Chris.
Yeah.
And then from there we can kind of like just have at it with the questioning or interrogation. No,
okay.
Not an interrogation.
Okay.
Not an interrogation.
It'll be fun.
Okay, it'll be fun. Okay, so let's really quick. I'm gonna go through these slides again. This is essentially just just to organize the thoughts, but really, like, if you're new to real estate, why does 1031 matters? Let me just gloss over it, Chris. People are gonna ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, let me ask you, raise your hands, Chris, and maybe this you included. Do you like paying taxes?
Absolutely not.
Hold on. Let me rephrase this question. Do you like paying more taxes than you need to pay? Because we all know that we all need it. You need to pay something, right? Do you like paying more taxes than you need to pay? How about that? Perfect. That answers the question. That's the whole reason. So if you don't like taxes, then stay. Right, Chris? It's as simple as that, right?
There's a right way and there's a wrong way. So we're going to talk about the right way.
100%. Building and scaling a portfolio. So again, if that money doesn't have to go to taxes, Chris, where do you think that money is going to go?
So when you're doing a 1031 tax deferred exchange, if you don't do a 1031 tax deferred exchange, well, let me give you a little bit of a background. It's been around for over 100 years, and it's helped countless real estate investors across the nation defer their capital gains taxes so that they can actually buy more property instead of paying the 30 to 40% to the federal government. So your buying power at 100% is cut down to about 60 to 70% if you don't do a 1031 exchange. So that's the main benefit, is that you retain 100% of your buying power and allow your gains to be rolled into another property that's equal to or greater than what you're selling for. So the federal government wants you to trade up in value, and you just have to buy like kind, which means real estate for real estate, investment for investment. As long as it's been held for the productive use of a trade or business or held for investment purposes, you can qualify for a 1031 exchange. However, your property that you're selling must have also been used and held for investment purposes as well. It can't be a primary residence that you're living in, and you can't be a person, an investor who's flipping your properties, because you're not holding that property for a certain period of time. We do recommend that you hold that property for 2 years before actually rolling it into another property. So that's kind of a background, and it's still the most powerful tool in the nation to build wealth and a significant legacy for heirs.
Perfect. And that's just the second slide we have. We just wanted to go to the third slide so we can kind of like go through, and then protecting wealth long term. So Chris, maybe why don't you just kind of mention 30 seconds about that, that as a whole.
Absolutely. As far as protecting your wealth, you definitely have to talk to a real estate attorney that can handle putting it all in a trust so that you can create a protection for your wealth in case you do pass away. The heirs will receive these properties in a step up in basis. Let me give you an example. If, say, for example, the investor has equity or gain of about $3 million, if they do pass away, let's say today, the following day, the heirs can actually sell these properties at fair market value. Fair market value is at $3 million. All the taxes that they've deferred over the past 20 years will then be forgiven. And again, we always recommend talking to a great real estate trust attorney to be able to plan this for you. So that's protecting your wealth long-term, is making sure that you have a good estate planning attorney.
Perfect. Okay. Well, Chris, yeah, that's that's essentially why we're here. Before we kind of get into the live Q&A, I want to just remind everybody, the whole way this even works is that I was able to connect with Chris. We collaborated and say, hey, listen, I want to create a brand image for someone who does 1031 exchanges. Chris dove in head first, and that was last May, right, Chris?
Yep. It's been almost a year now, and we've grown significantly since then.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So, but that's how it is. That's how we did. We basically, connect, collaborate, and create. And, the reason why we also do this is because, is that because people like Chris don't have any time. I mean, look at this guy. He just came here from a different event, a different networking event from after visiting how many offices?
Yeah. That's my daily routine.
That's the daily routine. Chris does not have any time to do ads, right? All the time that Chris needs to spend is time answering questions with people who have urgent needs, and that's why he's live with us
and doing presentations. Educating everyone about the power of the 1031.
100%. Yeah. So that's why Chris is here. So let me do this. Let me do the formal live Q&A ceremony. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yeah, let's make it happen, brother. So help you God. It's Ramadan too. So if you're not a law-abiding citizen, that's gonna be a problem. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go into the comments, because you know what? That's where the live questions are. We're gonna rapid fire here. Chris, I would advise you to be short, sweet, and keep it simple.
Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid, because quite frankly, the more higher clarity, more intentionality you deliver these answers, the easier it's going to be for us to curate them, throw them in your database, and have AI crawl all over it. So when the next time you talk to AI, you say, hey, I need a 1031 exchange. Who's the coolest guy in town? They show a video of Chris holding a Cadillac Margarita. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, right? Isn't that exactly what we're doing, Chris?
Right. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Oh boy. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? There's a lot of softball questions because we're all learning. People asking questions all the time. Man. Whew. Juicy ones right here. What are the most common mistakes investors make during the 45-day identification period? So this person obviously assumes that they only have 45 days. Why don't you basically kind of go through a list of things that might seem to be usual suspects when causing the delays?
Absolutely. So one of the most common mistakes that investors make within that 45-day period is that they don't start looking at the properties that they want to buy before they actually list their property. They wait till the last minute. And when this 45-day period starts, and it starts after they sell their relinquished property, that 45-day period starts, then they're rushing to try to find a property. And you don't want to do that. You want to go ahead and start looking at properties that you actually don't want. You want to weed them out before you even list your property. And, that's one of the common mistakes that investors make. They just wait till the last minute. This takes planning. So you have to make sure that you work with a good real estate agent, which we have access here at LEARNin Local Live, the best realtors in San Diego, who can help you do that.
Chris, it's funny is that I used to be a financial planner, and gosh, man, planning is the last thing people want to do.
Yeah, they wait till the last minute, and then they run out of time. And then when they run out of time, they can't identify properties. And guess what? That 45-day period goes just like that, and then they're not able to find anything, and it's a failed exchange. Then they're gonna have to pay their 30 to 40% in taxes.
Ouch! Yikes! That's like saying that, like, hey, this is kind of a story that I heard from a friend, right? In engineering school, where they just waited until like cramming into the last moment to pass the final exam.
Yeah.
And I don't know any people. I don't hang around people like that. But the guy said that he does that. He did that a lot. It's like like these investors. Like, you don't cram. I mean, that was just a silly example. You know what I mean? Passing a test, but like, hey, it could mean like literally saving 30-40%.
Yeah.
On an exchange of like, what's a typical exchange of value, Chris?
Let's say in San Diego, we're looking at about maybe $1 to $2 million is the average exchange that we come across. Some of them are 3, 4, and 5 million. It really depends on how long this investor has had their property. We had an investor in La Jolla who bought a property 20 years ago, and he was, suffering some health issues, and he wanted to sell his property. But guess what? He was just going to pay the taxes. It was like 30 to 40% in taxes, $600,000 to $800,000 in taxes that this guy was going to pay. Fortunately for me, I talked to the realtor, and the realtor talked some sense into the gentleman, and he was able to roll all of his gain, his $2 million, into a DST, a Delaware Statutory Trust, which is a passive investment, and then another piece of real estate. So he deferred $600,000 to $800,000 in taxes because he did the 1031 exchange. And a lot of people are afraid, across the nation, of selling their properties, especially the baby boomers, because they don't know that this option is available. And that's why we're here to create that education, to let them know that you do have options. You do have a 1031 exchange that we can do for you. And as we talked about, you only need one exchange company, Exchange Resources. We do it all. We do all 50 states. We've been around for almost 30 years, and we've done over 60,000 tax deferred exchanges. So just us. And it's because we've been around. We're one of the companies that have been around the longest.
Yikes! Yeah. No, you don't need any competition. You can get it all done, as far as I'm concerned. What are the biggest misconceptions investors have about the swap till you drop strategy? I actually really like this question, quite frankly, because being an investor that's invested, Roger says my hair is okay, but I'm just concerned.
No, it's fine. It looks great. Yeah, okay. It's perfect.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm just super self-conscious.
You're gonna need to talk to your hairstylist. So,
by the way, she's in Carlsbad. I can give you her card, but you know what? You don't need it, bro. I should be getting these tips from you.
Awesome. Okay, so
I hear, like a lot of times it's just marketing. Burr. Yeah. I was doing Burr before he was even called Burr. You know what I mean? So a lot of times investors just get fooled by fancy marketing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
so
so tell me about the swap till you drop.
What does swap till you drop? Basically means that as an investor, you can utilize the 1031 exchange. There's an unlimited amount of times you can actually use it. People sometimes think that there's a limit to how many exchanges you can do, which is a misconception. You can keep swapping, keep kicking the can down the road, keep upgrading your properties, keep buying more properties. And, one of the misconceptions is sometimes these investors think, okay, well, I want to go ahead and sell it eventually without doing a 1031 exchange. But guess what? All of the taxes that you've deferred for all those years, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 properties that you've accumulated, okay, you will wind up paying capital gains taxes on all those properties that you've swapped over the course of your life. If you don't either hold on to those properties as an investment property or continue to roll it into more properties. That's one of the misconceptions. Investors think that they can just sell it and then, cash out and not have to pay those taxes. But in essence, you do. We always recommend you talk to your CPA to determine what those tax consequences are. But if you don't continue to do the 1031, you will wind up having a huge tax consequence.
I appreciate that. I think it's really good information. But the numbers speak louder than words, right? I mean, do you have any case studies of people who did that, and you know what I mean? Like, okay.
Yeah. So I actually,
protecting the innocent, no names or whatever. But
I actually had a client who contacted me 2 months ago, and he says, "Chris, I want to do a 1031 exchange. I actually sold my property about 4 months ago. Can I still do a 1031 exchange?" And sadly, I told him, "I'm sorry, but you're standing on the dock and the ship has already sailed. You can't do any more. You can't do a 1031 exchange after that property is already sold because you've already touched the money. The money has already gone into your account, and we can't go backwards and reinstate that 1031 exchange. So you are liable for the 30 to 40% in taxes on that $2 million that you've received." So that's really a big thing. A lot of people really don't know, what the power of the 1031 exchange is.
What's funny is that, as a financial planner, and I was doing planning for New York Life. I was called a financial planner, but basically all we were doing was just like, experienced tax strategist. You know what I mean? Because the whole thing behind whole life insurance is that, like, it's this vehicle that can make you rich over, a long period of time. And the truth is that it's true. I mean, man, if you had money to put into a whole life vehicle, man, the numbers are amazing over like 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the problem with life insurance, is that like over a 30-year period, especially whole life insurance, it's amazing. Like, you can't beat it. People have done that and actually created their own bank. I mean, there are people who've written books about this. You create their own bank from this life insurance policy. But the problem is, it's like saying they can dress like you, Chris. You know what I mean? Even though you tell them exactly how to do something, they're going to be like, hey, this is how to dress like Chris. Here's 100 steps. At the end of the day, they're probably not going to dress like you. You get me?
Everybody's got their own style, right? But it's all about professions.
You can teach them the steps, but you can't teach them the sizzle, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All the time. It's like, you know what I mean? You can know how to do the dang thing. Refinancing a mortgage is anything, you know what I mean? It's pretty simple. Just give me all the data, I'll give you the output.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But some people just take those steps a little bit more, just do a better job, quite frankly, those steps. And on top of that, make it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I try to keep it as simple and easy as possible. Whenever a client is ready to do a 1031 exchange, we always provide a consultation with our administrators who've been in our company for almost 30 years as well. We've seen it all. And our administrators are the backbone of our company. They're the ones that make all of this happen. And they're the ones with the expertise and the knowledge to help all of these investors because they've seen it all. And, I've got to, give them kudos because they've been with us for so long. The loyalty and the knowledge that they have is amazing.
Yeah, one more question that I really want you to answer, because this is something that I ask as well. This is a really great question. Can a 1031 exchange be combined with other strategies like cost segregation or like opportunity zones? Things like that. Because obviously a lot of people are hearing about cost segregation now, like it's like the first, like it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's just essentially like a math, a function of math, right? Which is great, by the way, but you know what I mean? So like you hear about all these strategies. So can you kind of shed some light on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as combining with other strategies like cost segregation or opportunity zones, we always recommend that they talk to their CPA, before doing anything, because when it comes to cost segs, we're not CPAs. But if you do a cost seg, I mean, obviously, you're able to write off more of that depreciation, as owning that property rather than spreading it out over 27 and a half years, which is great for investors who are not going to be keeping their property for a long period. They may only keep it for 3, 4, or 5 years. And with the cost seg, they can actually write off that depreciation, a lot more of that depreciation during that time period. As far as opportunity zones, that's something that's really a little bit more specific. And, if your viewers want to get a little bit more information on that, I can definitely get them more information on that. But with opportunity zones, these are basically developing areas, Brownsville's, different areas in the United States where it requires development, a lot of development, and they're requiring investors to invest in these opportunity zones to help build up a community. The thing is, when you're invested in these opportunity zones, you're in there for quite a long time. The opportunity is definitely there. We do have specialists who can talk more about opportunity zones, but I'd rather leave it up to them to talk about those opportunity zones for these investors.
Hey, you know what? You're on live video, so you swore to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey, the best thing about, just about connecting is to be like, hey, I might not know the answer, but I might know someone who does.
I really do. We have financial planners, financial executives who actually specialize in opportunity zones and Delaware statutory trusts. They can actually, provide more information, more detailed information than I can with regard to that sort of investment.
Absolutely. So, hey, I want to just highlight that point. So what I'm bringing up here is Roger Lee. Right? He's a VIP in the Academy. Really appreciate you, brother. He makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Look at him. His hair. He's telling me his hair. My hair looks fine. I mean, man, he must think I'm nervous. See, that's just the kind of guy he is. So, I sent him a deal through the school, right? He sends me an DNA analysis, and honestly, the whole idea of what we're doing in school is that we're trying to make it easier for people to I'm an investor. Chris is an investor. People who are in real estate typically do invest in real estate services, that is, because they understand the process, quite frankly, better than everyone else. And honestly, that's the thing I always didn't figure out, Chris, is that did it ever dawn on you that you knew so many real estate people, but in the height of what you were doing with like real estate and renting out things and managing property, you probably knew like 9 people that weren't doing anything like that, because I just know, right? Like isn't that kind of like, isn't that weird to you? Like that now it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, there's just so many levels to someone's involvement, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We know hundreds of realtors now. I mean, through our show and through just our networking, there's just so many that I think that would definitely benefit from being on our show so that they can provide more knowledge to our viewers about this region.
This is scary part, though. This is really what I'm scared about, is that really, we don't need that many realtors. We just need one. And maybe city. Maybe one per city or one per zip code. But
that's true.
You're not going to need that many licensed folks. So, hey, let me kind of just show you exactly what we're kind of doing when we talk about connecting, collaborating, and, I'm sorry, I always get it wrong. Connecting, collaborating, and creating, because sometimes it's not even in that order. Sometimes it's about creating, collaborating, and connecting, right? So, this is Mr. Carlsbad. This is one of our realtors. We imagine a site where we pull up and create a block party for the realtor as the sun is setting. While we have music playing in the background. Kids are being handed toys and lemonade. Kids are riding around on their bike. Whatever. I don't know, whatever have you. But we're gonna be bringing the fun. Right, Chris? Bring not only the fun, but also the experience of like, hey, what is it like to live in Carlsbad? And this will change when we talk about what is it like to live in Boston. Hey, by the way, it could be the same thing, except you just ask AI to add 3 feet of snow on top of that. I'll just change Carlsbad to Boston and just say, hey, just freaking put in, just imagine a nor'easter just came through, literally, and that's exact. So man, fun. It's just so fun. So fun. So that's just one example of what we're creating. Tomorrow, Chris, we'll see you here, right? The whole point of what we're doing and how we're revolutionizing the process of this whole business is if you see us here on this, the 7 people that are watching right now, if you're in Encinitas tomorrow, come by Coastal Design. We're having a house party from 4 p.m. at Union in Encinitas. The SD group is hosting this. This is an event that's basically was organized or promoted by our member Harry Houdini. Again, Harry, if you don't know Harry and you're watching this, he magically makes loan funding possibilities appear like pixie dust. But he will, I will promise he will never disappear on you. So that's Harry. I mean, he's just like, right, Chris? He's amazing.
He's an amazing lender.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing conventional lender. So he's going to be hosting this event. And on Friday, we're going to be putting together or at least promoting a happy hour at Keys and Cocktails, and another one of our Academy members, VIP members, Nicole Turner. So you did an event for Nicole on one of these Fridays, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
Actually, no, we rescheduled the Zoom class for another day for her agents, but we already did a presentation for her office about 2 weeks ago, and it turned out pretty well. They got a lot of great information. They talked about DSTs, buying into a portfolio of real estate where it's passive instead of managing properties for the rest of your life. As a baby boomer, people want freedom. Sometimes they just don't want to manage properties anymore. And we were able to give them a little bit more education on that.
Cool. No, that's awesome. No, yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, I'm looking forward to this Friday regardless. And then, okay, second Tuesday of the month. So next Tuesday, got this for you.
Yeah.
Right? Awesome. Yeah. Cool. This is going to be amazing.
Let me know if you want to attend. It's RSVP. So please reach out and we can book you for a spot.
Let's make it happen. And then the Moonlight Beach Half Marathon. Chris, I know this is, I know you got your own working out to do, but I'm going to be running this race. And we're going to be creating this experience not only for our educators, but also people in the program where we're training to and educating them about real estate. It's going to be surrounding, the race itself on Sunday has nothing to do with the program, but I'm going to be talking about the program more in depth on the following Tuesday, which is next Tuesday. This is the last beta show for the Learn Local Challenge. We're going to be ready to launch and talk more about it very soon. It's going to be awesome. Hey, Chris, we're out of slides. And, the last thing to only say is really just, man, it's almost the top of the hour. I know you got something to do, probably off to another realtor's office during the day, saving realtors and their buyers from taxes, one realtor office at a time. So appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you for being on the show. Hey, if you want to join me and Chris at our next show, go to join.learnlocal.com. We'll be happy to welcome you into the family. So, Chris, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate your time. You're a wealth of knowledge and proof that you can't stop the shining, man. You can't stop them. You can only contain them. So, Chris is in the building. All right. See you guys. Take care. Make it happen.
Thank you.